Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video we are looking at Bitcoin. It is time for another update, and on this chart we have managed to break our relevant levels of resistance we had within a smaller time frame, and now we have on the chart the larger area of resistance we can track for a potentially larger degree extension to lower prices, as most likely I would consider that this wave C to the downside would already be complete. I would consider that we wouldn't be looking for any additional extensions within it, and while technically it is possible to extend to lower prices within other interpretations where even this could work out as a 1-2 setup or something similar, I wouldn't necessarily consider this to be the most likely interpretation. Now, for context, for this idea of continuation to lower prices in this wave 5 in orange, we needed to hold here the last level of resistance, the previous wave 4 swing high at around 72.2k level. Yeah, we have broken that. We are really looking at this extension to lower prices with extremely low likelihood, even though we have not yet broken this area of resistance for the orange scenario. Yeah, I'm not looking for this to be a reset of the wave 4. Even if we do not break it in that direct fashion, I would not consider the extension to be a likely interpretation, simply because of the proportions we have in this wave 4 compared to this wave 2. And I mentioned to you in the previous video, we could be looking for this wave C to have a full count, even with what we currently have in place within this structure, within different counts, within different scenarios. Now, in the previous video, for context, we have been looking for even a potential 1-2 setup to form within this area, a wave 3 afterwards to higher prices initially, and we had the area of support down to the 62.6k level. We have managed to completely hold this area of support and create the reversal to the upside from it, but we didn't manage to create an initial 5-wave move to the upside. We have only received a 3-wave pattern, which wasn't even suggesting with high probabilities that we should expect continuation to higher prices, but also only allows us to look for a wave C, still in a 5-wave pattern currently, but not a wave 3 to the upside that would expect, then yet another wave 4, a 5th wave, and then we would have a larger potential 1-2 setup that would allow even better probabilities for extensions to even higher prices. Yeah. Now, this is not the case, and we have been looking for the area of resistance here at the 78.6% retracement internally, the 68.5k level. This was going to be our most important break that was going to signal that we would get also the break above the previous wave 4 swing high. Yeah, I'm not even going to keep that at the previous high. We can even remove this interpretation in my opinion. And we have broken that. We have gotten a retracement back into this area of resistance, and then we have gotten the complete breakout. Yeah, we haven't pushed beyond directly. We have found resistance at the previous top. Yeah, but ultimately it didn't manage to hold. We are looking for this to have extended successfully to higher prices, and we are looking at a larger ending diagonal within this wave C, as I was mentioning, to be ideal, to be expected to form, since we didn't get the 5-wave pattern. And we provided this area of support. It seems we have pushed into the 61.8% retracement almost perfectly, and then we extended to higher prices. Now, based on the structure within this area, we have a couple of options of how we could be tracking the pattern to higher prices. So I could be looking for this to be something like a 1-2 and to have this as a wave 3 to the upside. At the same time, I could be looking for this to be the wave 8 top instead and have this as a wave C to the upside. Well, in any of the scenarios that I would consider for this structure that we are tracking in this wave 3 to the upside, even though we have just reached the ideal target, so we did fulfill the minimum expectations in terms of target for the wave 3, yeah, the 138.2% extension, I would still strongly prefer to form at least one more high before looking for the extension to lower prices in a larger wave 4. Yeah, we either have this as an A, B, C structure where the wave C would be missing a 4 and a 5, or we have this as an A, B, C structure where we would have this as a wave 3 and we would still be missing a wave 4 and a wave 5 within the interpretation of an ending diagonal within the wave C. There is even the possibility of an impulse to form in this structure, in this movement to the upside. I am not ruling that out. That would allow even multiple extensions higher, that would allow this wave itself to extend, but I wouldn't consider that to be a high probability, and it would require us to track an extremely small time frame perspective that I would just not consider reliable. So for me, I will be looking for this to even be a potential ending diagonal here. The first level of support that I would consider within this area would be here, the 23.6% retracement, for the idea of a diagonal pattern. So we would be watching the 72.5k level, yeah? If we have a top within this structure to the upside, which does seem to have a full count at this point, yeah, it doesn't need to extend higher, I would expect to reach at least this level, the 72.4k level, and the last level of resistance is not here, this 69.9k level, but instead, for the interpretation where a wave B bottom would be here, the 69k level, where a break below even that would force us to even assume that a wave 3 top would be in place, which is quite difficult because this count, this wave C, is not complete, yeah? I might even be looking for alternative scenarios in the case of a failure of holding the 69k level. That for me is extremely important, and I might be looking for this to instead have been a corrective pattern within this area, within a different count, because remember, for the larger time frame assumption that a bottom would be in place within this entire movement to the downside, we would typically expect to reach at least the 79.9k level before looking for extensions to lower prices, and I would typically expect a correction within this structure to be larger than what we had within this wave B correction internally. So we should ideally hold this level of support. We should form another high within this wave 3 to have a more clearly full count, and we should form a fourth and a fifth wave to even higher prices afterwards, ideally, to complete an A, B, C pattern. And for now, these are the levels. This is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and if you enjoy our content and want to support us directly, you can check out our channel membership. The link for sign up is in the description, or you can click the join button and you will even get access to a couple of cool perks. But other than this, let me know what else you would like me to cover, and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. And until then, I hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.